In this video, we're talking about 10 micro habits to be perceived as a high value man. Now, perception is reality, and that's one big thing I had to learn in this life. It doesn't matter if you are, it's about what others perceive you to be. So with these micro habits, these are the things that really help separate you from that of the average guy. Now, perhaps the number one thing that is destroying a lot of guys' presence, their aura, even their confidence in some cases is this right here, the phone. You are glued to it. I actually encourage you to check your screen time, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours a day, absolutely insane. And so the first micro habit that you need to actually start practicing is just putting down the phone. There's a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport, and I actually reference this book quite often. Within that book, he has a concept in which he says we need to learn how to be bored, learn how to practice boredom, because whenever we're eating, waiting in lines, whenever we are at dinner, that's why we're always glued to our phones, even whenever we're walking. It's like you always have to be stimulated. And I've noticed that the guys who really position themselves to be high status, they're not glued to the phone all the time. They're actually being aware of their surroundings. They're actually being present in the moment. And truth is, this has so many more benefits besides just being perceived to be higher status or a high value man. Being present allows you to actually take in the moment, to appreciate the moment, to allow time to almost go by slower. Because one thing I told myself is that it seems like time is going by really fast. And truth is, it really is. But time isn't necessarily going by fast. It's just that we're always distracted. Even myself, I made a habit of just not being on my phone whenever I'm out in public. Now, the other micro habit is scanning the room. As simple as that. Whenever you walk into a new place, you need to actually scan the room, make some eye contact, and see who is there. We're not on our phone. We're not looking down. We're scanning the environment. Now, this is actually going to help in terms of our body language, because whenever you walk into a room, you have one impression, and the first impression could kill everything. If you walk into a room and your head's down, you look unconfident, your shoulders are hunched over, whatever it may be, people are going to immediately perceive you to be that of the lower status guy, even if you're in a group. But if you walk in, phone in your pocket, looking up, chin up, scanning the room, people start to question, who is this guy, right? So it's these little things that have a compounding effect, and you want to actually combine this with the other one, especially when you start to go out in public and go in certain venues and environments. Now, micro habit number 3 is dressing intentionally. This is something that I practiced for years. In fact, even this video right now, you can't see my full outfit, but I'm wearing some black trousers, nice watch, nice chain, all that stuff. Like, this is very intentional. Now, when I say dress intentionally, it means a few things. Number one, we need to dress for the occasion. If you're going to a formal event, you wear something based on that formality. If you're going to the gym, you wear something based on that. But if you're not going to the gym, we don't wear gym clothes. Even in Miami, I just moved here, and I'm noticing like a lot of people here wear like athleisure, especially like in my area. Now, even though I have a lot of athleisure, I'm not gonna be wearing athleisure all the time. I'm gonna dress very intentionally and sort of curate how I style myself, because your style and how you put together outfits is literally your first impression. If you are curious, I did a whole style guide video actually last week, so be sure to reference that after this video if you want some more information on how to actually craft an attractive style. Now, some other helpful advice in terms of how you can start dressing more intentionally is you need to start laying out your outfits and or putting it on before you decide to go out. You need to see how it actually fits you, and you need to visualize it. So you can do this by laying your outfits out on a bed. You can do this by getting a full body mirror. Point is, you need to actually see yourself and how the clothes fit on you, and stop just throwing random stuff on and then walking out the door. Anytime I've looked my best, I didn't just throw it on. I actually took the time, and sometimes had to change shirts, had to change pants, had to go buy new pants. That actually happened. I wasn't liking the pants I was wearing. I was like, I need this particular pair of pants. I drove all around Miami to find it, and it ended up bringing the outfit all together. So dress intentionally, another micro habit that's going to help make you perceived more higher status. So we're at number 4, and this one's going to be daily grooming. Grooming is one of the simplest but most overlooked things in terms of crafting our appearance. And notice the keyword there is daily, not bi-weekly, not once a week. Every single day. Every single day, you need to be making sure that your hair is groomed, that you're styling your hair, that your beard is lined up. A lot of guys, they just simply rely on the barber to make sure that they look the most attractive versions of themselves. That's a place in which I never personally want to be. I grew up cutting my own hair. I don't do it anymore, but at the least, I'm doing my beard. I'm lining it up. I'm making sure that my hairline is straight each and every day. You know, I'm manscaping. I'm doing whatever I need to do to ensure that each and every single day I look my best. And that starts off with daily grooming. Now, in terms of how I actually do this in a sort of routine, first, I'll do my grooming and then I'll do my skincare, because I've noticed that whenever like I take a shower or I wet my hair, like it's just easier to sort of groom dry hair versus like hair that is wet. For some reason, I don't know why, but that's the way I go about it personally. And that kind of ties into the grooming aspect is a skincare routine, making sure that I have fresh skin, that my skin is moisturized, that my skin is glowing, that I don't have, you know, a lot of acne, which I actually was a person who grew up with horrible acne. So I gotta be even more cautious about how I actually go about my skincare. And if you guys don't have a skincare routine, I'm gonna introduce you to today's sponsor, which is Tiege Hanley. Now, Tiege Hanley is a skincare system in which I've been using since 2018, which is crazy to say because like it's been so long. And I feel like Tiege Hanley every single year gets better and better with their improvements, with their systems. And truth be told, I keep it very simple. And that's why I love Tiege Hanley. I personally use the level 2 system, which is the advanced system. They do have level 1, level 2, as I mentioned, and level 3. Each one of them is going to come with the foundation, such as the cleanser, which I'm almost out of. As you see, I use multiple times a day, in the morning, after the gym, and then also at night. But also using the advanced routine level 2, you're going to get the eye serum, which is going to help with bags, dark spots underneath your eyes so that you can have more of that youthful appearance. And then also our moisturizers and scrub. The AM moisturizer is what you're going to use in the morning because it has SPF in it, which is going to help with protecting you from the UV rays. Then the PM moisturizer, obviously, you're going to use at night. And then the scrub is actually exfoliation that you're going to use 2 to 3 times a week in order to rub off the dead skin cells. That way, your skin appears more brighter and more attractive. They also have acne systems, which is pretty useful if you are somebody who suffers from a lot of acne. But my go-to, as I mentioned, is the level 2 advanced system. You can also check out the level 3. Point is, Tiege Hanley has something for everyone. And best of all, it's affordable and it actually works. It's so easy to do. So if you are a guy who uses water or bananas or nothing at all, then I'm gonna encourage you to check the link down below because they are offering you guys 40% off your first box alongside with a special gift. Now, the special gifts are only here for a limited amount of time, and my favorite has been this grooming kit right here, which comes with 2 nail clippers, tweezers, and also beard scissors to help with the grooming and the aesthetics even more. And if it doesn't get any better than that, you're gonna get 20% off for life once you become a Tiege member. So if you don't have a skincare routine, once again, check the link down below. You're gonna get 40% off your first box. Be sure to check them out. So number 5 is a pretty interesting one. And let me know if you ever notice this, where somebody's having a conversation and every time somebody says something, the person is like nodding and agreeing, right? That's exactly what we don't want to do. And now we're getting into more social micro habits that help with your perceived status. And that is, throughout conversation, you don't want to be just nodding the whole time. In fact, I would much rather you just keep a straight head and then occasionally nod. You know, a lot of guys, they'll nod to ensure that the other person knows that they're listening. Even on dates, I know a lot of guys do this. I used to struggle with this also. But now that I know how that comes off, like always being in agreement with somebody, even if they say something that you don't necessarily agree with, you're just trying to make sure that they understand that you're listening. You don't have to do that. All you simply have to do is just listen to them. You know, it might be awkward if you're just kind of staring. So like you might nod in agreement with some things, but you can sort of squint, you can head tilt, you can bring your chin up, you can, you know, play with your chin a little bit. There are other things you can do besides, nodding, which actually lowers your status and your perceived value within a conversation. And you might be asking, how is this even possible? But the truth is, everything is based on a subconscious level. Who do you think you would subconsciously respect more? The person who is agreeing with you based on everything you're saying? Or the person who's kind of squinting, kind of tilting their head? They almost look perplexed, like a little bit mysterious. And so just a little social tip there, it can definitely make a difference. So micro habit number 6, and this is purely based on compliments, is that you want to compliment things based on what they earn, not what is given. And when I say given, pretty much the only thing tied around that is their beauty. So obviously in the context of complimenting a woman, you never want to validate her based on her beauty, but instead you validate her based on the things she has potentially earned. This could be the way she is dressed or fashion sense. You know, she had to earn that. That's knowledge and things she put together. It could be her knowledge or mindset towards something, whatever it may be, right? You have to make sure that it is earned. And I know most of us guys, we tend to immediately compliment things based on face value or things we see, which is usually beauty. But if you can tell yourself that I will not give validation unless I know it's something that is earned, that in itself, not only will it help you get more respect, especially from women, but overall, people are just gonna appreciate the compliment more. Women hear that they're beautiful all the time. Even some handsome dudes, they might be validated based on their handsomeness. It's happened to me before. But I would much rather somebody compliment me based on my style, based on something that I didn't wake up and have, essentially is what I'm saying. And once again, these are things that are separating us from what the average guy is doing. Now, we're gonna pretend this tea bottle is a cup. And this is a micro habit that I see at a lot of restaurants, at bars, and different venues in which people are holding drinks. And that is, this is the bad part, they go to the drink, then drink it. It sounds so corny, but the micro habit that is gonna work in your favor is if you bring things to you. If you take control and dominance over the items and things that you're touching, eating, or drinking. This includes other utensils whenever you're eating. You don't go to the utensil, you don't go to the fork, you don't go to the drink. You stay where you're at and you bring it to you. This goes into subconscious body language cues and signals that can sort of signal your social competence alongside with your status in society. And once again, I know this stuff sounds crazy. I know it does, but trust me, start paying attention to how you actually eat and how you drink, and notice if you're like leaning into your food and your back is hunching over and you look awkward and you look like a nerd. All these things are gonna make a difference. So, you know, straight back, bring the drink to you, bring the fork to you. I think they should teach this in like every etiquette class. Maybe they do, but I know most guys don't take any sort of etiquette class. And I took one when I was in like 3rd grade, and I don't remember that being taught. But it is something that I definitely pay attention to now, and it is a micro habit that can actually make a huge difference. Now, the next micro habit I want you to start doing is paying people back immediately. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation in which somebody borrowed money or were supposed to pay me back and they forgot. I always respect people who respect the fact that they are in debt to somebody. If I'm splitting a dinner with some friends of mine, I am not gonna wait until 2-3 days from now or even after we get up to pay them back. I'm literally gonna Venmo them or whatever, cash at them immediately based on my portion. And every guy who has done this with me, I instantly have the utmost respect for, versus the guys who sort of forget and like it becomes like an awkward scenario in which you gotta start reminding them like, hey, yeah, you never paid me back for so-and-so, or, you know, I done paid for you a few times now, like what's going on? This happens a lot of friend groups. I've traveled enough to understand and know this does happen quite often. And once again, the micro habit that's gonna have people respect you is if you just be a man of honor. You hold your word. It's sad that even myself, I had to literally cut off a handful of friends of mine because I have sent them exorbitant amounts of money and they said they were gonna pay me back. And these were like close, good friends of mine. And they never did till this day. It's been years. And they willingly cut off the friendship and relationship over that money. And it's something that I had to do because it was the principle of it. Like if I was to just simply allow that, then that means I now lose respect on my own end, and they know that they can take advantage of me. It's not how it's gonna work, right? So the micro habit that I'm gonna leave you off with is start paying people back immediately, instantly. Don't hesitate. And if you can't pay them back, make that clear. Talk to them, communicate. Hey, I can't do it now, but I can do it in so-and-so days. And by that day, you better do it, man. Like hold your word and just be a man, right? So once again, check out T. Shanley, sponsor of this video. If you don't have a skincare routine, this is the one that I use and many other handsome guys use in order to make sure that their skin and grooming is on point every single day. I'm gonna leave a link below. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.